why is it that these fad diets they blow up, they get really really huge because again there's a success story there. Why do they fail? Because they worked for him. Why aren't they working for me?
You know, it could be a variety of reasons. Number one, I find it hard to believe all he ate was potatoes because there's definitely a nutritional deficit if that's what he's doing. There's no healthy fat for his brain function. There's no protein for muscle development. I don't recommend this at all, and I know you don't as well. I think these fad diets get airtime because they're so outlandish and novel. And people also want the quick fix. They want the sensationalized results. They want, 100 pounds. Like no one wants to hear that someone lost, 10 pounds over the course of 8 weeks doing doing things reasonably and sustainably. They want really quick, really flashy, really novel. And it's just to your point before I say why it didn't work, it might not work for somebody else. To your point about why it did work for him, there is an element of something that we talk about in intuitive eating called habituation. So it's when you have the same stimulus over and over and over again, eventually your response to that stimulus decreases. So the example would be, he eats potatoes, potatoes, potatoes. Eventually he's sick of potatoes. He doesn't want potatoes anymore. So what we do in intuitive eating is if you have a fear food, let's say you're fearful of cheesecake, you're really, it's high in calorie and sugar and fat, and you think it's going to make you gain weight. So you always try to avoid it, but that ends up with you inevitably binging an entire cheesecake
Yeah.
because you want it so much. So we go through the process of habituation, and I tell clients, have a little bit of cheesecake every single day for a month. And you will notice the pull for the cheesecake on day one is a lot more intense than the pull for the cheesecake on day 30 because you've been having it over and over and over again. And people, they're like, well, how can that be? I'll want cheesecake forever. I love cheesecake. It's my favorite. So I tell them, are you married, Alan?
I am.
Okay. So first time you said you loved your partner, there were probably butterflies and everyone was so excited and it was so novel and wonderful. And now that you've been together for however many years, it's like they love you and you're like, yeah, I love you too. And you probably mean it still, right? As I've been with my husband for 10 years and I still mean it. I still love him, but it doesn't have that same butterfly inducing exciting feeling, at least not in the same intensity as it did
Yeah.
the first time versus 10 years in. That's habituation. Why it's not going to work for somebody else, you know variety of reasons. I mean, people eat emotionally. People want to eat different things when they're emotional. It's also your body's going to crave what it needs nutritionally. That's why intuitive eating is actually a healthful practice. Is your body's going to tell you're going to crave steak when you need iron, things like that. So for you to force yourself to eat one kind of food with one nutritional profile, your body's going to crave other things. And once you allow yourself to go off the potato diet, you're going to binge those things because you've been restricting them for so long.
Yeah.